Okay, we're back with the scx10 dingo build part 5. As of right now, we pretty much have a rolling chassis, and the last time y'all saw this I had the cover on, but this being a 65 turn motor, you can't spin the axle. It's hard to turn the motor, so I got to have it open where I can turn his gear. Now, it's not that it's too tight or anything's binding up, because when you disconnect the motor, it moves real easy. Just this high turn motor itself doesn't want to turn real easy. So we're going to move on to our next step, which is assembling the bumpers and getting them attached. And let me get them pieces out, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's the front bumper, and basically all they're wanting you to do with that is to remove it from the parts tree, grab your light buckets, attach your grills to it. And these things are pretty easy to do, so I'm going to get that and put it together real quick. I don't have any LEDs for this. I haven't decided exactly what I want to use. I believe I'm going to use a smart kit, which gives me blinkers and things like that. So we'll just separate all these little parts and decide what grills we want to use, and I'll be right back. Okay, basically all we're going to be doing is take these little screws. I have also found when you do these little ones like this, if you use a straight wrench instead of like the ball head, it's a little bit easier to get these screws in that are so small. Now this here is just a LED retainer, and I don't have any LEDs yet, but I'm going to put these screws on just so I don't lose my retainers or forget. There's two different styles. One's for the bumper and one's for the bucket lights, and I don't want to get them mixed up. So I'm just going to put them on the bumper and the buckets just to snug them up so I don't lose them. And then when my LEDs come in, I'll just take them off and put the LEDs on. Alright, so I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, well, we got the backs on the buckets. Like I said, I just did that so I wouldn't lose them. They're also on the backs here. Now what we're going to do is attach the buckets to the bumper. And there's a little guide hole for the back. Just keeps it from spinning. Kind of pesty, so sometimes it's easier to get the screw started. I don't put the grill in yet, so you can put your finger inside there like that, and it kind of helps you hold it still to get the light in. There. And I guess this little, got two little holes there, and one of them's got a pin. Kind of helps you to make sure that the light's in the facing the right direction, so it always stays straight too. Little hole in the bottom of the bumper. And these are pretty thin plastic, so don't over tighten. And there's the front bumper. And then we'll just choose one of these grills. I'll probably choose the Puna. I don't know, maybe even the Axial. This one tends to block a lot of the LED where these don't. I might choose the Axial, and that way I'll have the clear, because I got a habit of wanting to actually glue these clear to the front of my truck where it looks like the headlights actually got a cover also. So let me get that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I chose the Axial bumper guards. I don't know if you can see that or not, but because they're all black. Later on when I go to put my lights on, I'm going to I'll paint the inside of the bucket silver to help give it some reflection. And I went ahead and put the little LED locks on the back bumper also. So what they're wanting us to do now is go ahead and attach the bumper. I'm not really sure where that needs to sit on the body yet, so I'm going to put it on the outer hole. And if we need to, we can always move it back in. I want you to put these pins in through the bottom and just have them flush. Put this down here where you can see. You just put the pin and kind of move that around until it bumps in there, and then tighten that until it's pretty much flush. And that'll attach the bumper, and we'll do the same thing on the rear. And when we get the body set, we'll adjust these bumpers to where they closer to the, I like to keep them fairly close to the body. I believe that's what a scale look would be fairly close to the body. And get a little excited with that one there. There you go. Alright, and that's the bumpers. So that's step 35 through 39, which was pretty simple. After that, it's got us doing the receiver box and the battery tray and then the rock slides. So let me get that together, parts out real quick, and we'll move on. Okay. What we got here in step 40, if you can see here, you got to put the box on. It's got these funky little clips. They're a little bit pesty to get in there. They just kind of sit between the frame, and then you screw them through the bottom of the box here, and then you screw this down. Now I don't have my receiver or my ESC yet. I'm still waiting for that. So until them show up, I'm just gonna tuck the servo wire in there and go ahead and put the lid on, so that'll stop bouncing around, getting in my way there. Now this isn't a waterproof receiver box, so if you plan on submerging this thing, you might want to think about waterproofing your receiver. And when you've done that, I would actually drill holes in the bottom of this box to where when water got in, it could drain back out. Or if you're going to do a lot of submerging of them, you might want to think about a whole different setup of holding your receiver and everything. A lot of people put a little Tupperware box back here or somewhere else and seal up all their electronics in there. I imagine you could make this waterproof, but by the time you did, it'd be a real pain to try and get back in it. So anyhow, there's the receiver box. It's put together. Next, they want you to put together the battery tray, which is real simple. I mount mine up front. You can mount it in the back. You know, it'll go back here, and it's got a lot of room, but makes it tippy. You know, so you want your weight in the front. So I'm gonna move mine up to the front. And even though these things are pretty flimsy, or just a mount, you got this metal plate that'll go in there and help stiffen everything up. So like I said, you can do a rear mount, which is right here. And myself, I don't recommend it, you know, to each its own, but I prefer the front mount like here. So all the weight will be up front. So let's get this thing apart here. I got to get these little spacers out, and we'll start doing that. All right, be right back. Okay. Well, there's the battery tray. Pretty simple. Suspension still works real nice. Nothing's in the way. Stiffened it right up. We'll set our battery up front. It'll help keep the weight forward. And I've noticed that this didn't come, or at least I didn't see them with the well, yes it did. Okay, I'm sorry, it did come with the Velcro, which is in that little funky bag that's got your headlight buckets and your antenna tube, and it's real surprising too, with everything nowadays going 2.4. It's amazing to see that they actually have antenna tubes still. But so anyhow, the Velcro will go through here. Now you can also make it where you loosen these screws a little bit, and it'll go under the plastic and it'll kind of hold it, but I prefer them to be able to be removed. Sometimes I get mine pretty nasty, and I run LiPo batteries, and I'm afraid myself if I get a bunch of dirt under there that it'll score the battery pack and cause a LiPo fire. But I don't know if that's actually possible, but I have seen a LiPo fire, and I've seen it take down the truck completely. So you know, these aren't the most expensive things in the world, but they're still a few $100. And I don't know about you, I don't have money to literally burn. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing is adding the rock slides, which are pretty straightforward. You're just going to put them inside these little boot things here. And again, until I have the body where I want it, I'm just going to stick it in the first hole. That way it you can, you know, adjust them once you got your body on there. It's real easy. It's got quite a few holes, but you put it on the first one, and when you put the body on, at least it won't be in the way if you got it too close to where you got to move it out before you can even get the body on. So the first one for me is where I prefer, and then we adjust it accordingly. Alright, so far any part of this build has been super easy on this step. Nothing technical or to worry about. Just a few decisions whether you want your battery forward or back. Alright, so that's it for that, and let's see what our next step is. Our next step will be building the tires, and it comes with 5. It comes with 5 tires, and they're a white dot, which means it's a pretty soft compound. It's got pretty soft foams. You know, they're a Ripsaw tire, but I like it that they're the white dot, and they're not directional. It doesn't matter which way the tire's on. Now, I've ordered some of the Axial bead lock rims, so I am not going to glue these. I'm just going to put these on the tires while I'm waiting for my bead locks to show up, so I can make it a roller. And the same with the spare tire. I'll probably never glue that on, because unlike, you know, no different than regular cars, I actually wear tires out. And I'll show you here, I've noticed on this tire that these are actually a bead lock tire also. Alright, that's the tire, but you see it's got the little locking rim in the countersink section here. So when I do get the bead locks, everything's going to work well. I'll just pop these rims back out and put the bead lock rims on. I don't really care for glue rims. I've got pretty much every truck I've bought, except for my Honcho, which I bought as I didn't buy it together. I just kind of bought pieces off eBay. They've come with these rims, and I've not used them, so I'm getting quite a collection of these things. So what I guess I need to do is put them on eBay and sell the rims and get somebody a good deal on them, and get a little cash maybe where I can buy some accessories or something for this. Pretty much everything I get, I love to put a winch on, so I'm sure maybe I can sell all these rims and get enough money to get a new winch like the one I got on my Sawback or my G6. I've even got an extra controller right now. And I do have a little trick for gluing rims. Some people like to put the glue on first. Basically what I'll do is I'll just bend my rim back like that, glue, set, come back over, bend it back again, you know, or if you stick them in all the way down to that next rib, see, then without getting any glue on your tires, you can take your CA, bend your tire back, put it on the rim, and then pick the tire up and set it on there. Come around, do the same thing. Just take your time, and you won't end up with glue all over the edge, your sidewalls of your tires, or all on your rim, which will turn the plastic white. It just looks terrible. Just another reason why I like bead locks, but my racing rims I always glue. So, but there you go. There's 5 tires. Nothing to that. I think we'll go ahead and put them on the truck just so we got a roller. So give me a second to get the little locks out and everything, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now there again, one of the benefits about getting a kit to a ready to run is that when you don't get it ready to run, you don't get the, you get it ready to run, you get the controller and everything. So they basically cut back on some of the other parts to make up the difference on the money. But if you get a kit, most of your pieces, like the aluminum links and things in that nature, you get the metal parts or the aluminum parts, to where my wheel nuts here, 12 millimeter wheel nuts, are aluminum instead of plastic. So you got a grub screw, you can lock them in, and it all works out real nice. That's one of the benefits of the kit compared to a ready to run, is that you get a lot of upgraded parts. And ready to runs are nice if you don't have anything already, like your controllers and things, and so you'll have something that you can run your kit on. You don't have to buy receivers and ESCs. Myself, I prefer kits. I love the build. I think that's half of the fun. I think everybody should build at least one, so they got a general idea of what's going on, so if something breaks, you know how to fix it. There you go. You see, now that I got a tire on, everything spins nice. I probably put my transmission cover back on now. So we'll do the other side. Pin in. A little grub screw. Now you could put thread lock on these, but I've never really had one back out because they're actually inside the rim, and for some reason you have something go wrong with your front axle or rear axle, and you got these things thread locked in. A lot of times you can't get these little grub screws out, and then of course the next thing you know, you're going to have to try and tear the axle apart without taking them off, and it just leads to ugly things. Like I said, the upgraded rims I got, I'm hoping will be here the next day or so. And I only got 4. I'm going to keep the spare tire as the normal thing. So let me get these rear ones on and I'll be right back. Okay, now I got all the tires on, and I went ahead and stuck the hubcaps on too. When you were putting the wheels together, you'd have noticed the screw was sticking out a little far, and that was on purpose so that the hubcaps could be attached. Alright, so what we got going on next is we're going to start putting the body parts together, and the roll cage seems to be the first thing. So we'll start doing that, and I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. We got our parts they were asking for, and cleaned them up a little bit so they weren't so messy, them little nubs. Alright, and what they're wanting is for us to attach this here. big pisty. I guess it is pretty easy to figure out which way that needs to be when it's only got one screw hole there. Don't forget they're plastic, so don't tighten too hard. Pretty self-explanatory. Pretty much will only fit one way. The pictures are, you know, good enough. The only part's a little confusing is this very back one, but there's only one hole, so you can't get it backwards. So I guess it ain't really that confusing once you notice that it's only got the one hole. Been looking online and I've seen a few bimini tops for sale on this, so I'm kind of interested in making my own, something that comes on and off fairly easy. I think after we get this done, I'm going to call it stops for this video. It's getting a little long. And I think from there we're going to have to start doing a lot of setting up on the Axial body, and I gotta get it painted, but I do want to set up all my, I'll probably actually build it and then disassemble it and then paint it. That way I can see through the body to get all my body holes done without having to trying to guess. Once it's painted, you can't see nothing, of course, so in my opinion, it's best to do as much of it as you can, or actually build the whole truck and then disassemble the body, the Axial body off of, take your roll cage and all off, and put a tiny piece of tape over all your holes, and then just paint the body and you'll be good to go. Alright, this goes in here. We'll get our spare tire on, get this roll cage part done. Kind of glad they made this hole here a little short, you know, a little short, so you actually have to screw this screw in. 'Cause I'd sure hate to have to, every time I wanted to take the tire off, have to take the cage and redo it because of the screw falling down. Goodness, that is long. There's only one fine thread screw that comes through, so it's got to be this. Now, like I was telling you before, you need to watch plastic. See this long screw? I'm going to give this a break for a second. But I can feel it's getting hot, and that'll cause your plastic to strip out. Okay, we've about got this. Then we can put the tire on. This little plastic piece, kind of like your spin. Definitely not made for big fat fingers. Well, that didn't work either. Boy, I'd definitely hate to take this off in the field. This little plastic thing is already stripped on mine, so you gotta really be careful. I will probably change that. I'm sure somebody makes an aluminum one. I don't like this at all. Okay. Alright, well that's it for this part of the build, and our next part will be starting on the Lexan body, mounting the fenders and stuff like that. So that'll definitely be a good idea to do that before it gets painted, so we don't scratch it all up. Okay, so that's it for this part, and thank you for watching, and please comment, and please subscribe, and please like, and I hope this helps somebody, and you have a nice day. Alright, bye.